The person I listen to a lot is Rick Rubin. He's more so centered on what do you want to make instead of what what's the audience want to hear. And I feel like that's a big thing. Artists will make maybe not better music, but music that they feel more passionate about and comfortable with, rather than just making, okay, I need to put out an album to this demographic. How do I do that?
Bingo.
And I feel like that's what the labels get caught up in. That's what the artists get caught up in. And that's when we reach this stagnant periods where people aren't listening to music because they aren't listening to hip hop specifically because they're like, it all sounds, to me, it all sounds the same. And I could see where a white person who isn't familiar with hip hop culture would just be like, well, it all sounds the same to me.
For sure.
I could understand that. But the more you do
for sure,
opening up, it just betters the music, and people are like, well, that's different. I can relate to that.
Absolutely. My fault. I just want to say the experimentation part is what they bring, is what I was saying too.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just didn't see it a lot, and especially in the early 2010s too.
Yo. We back again. It is the Risk Takers. I am your boy Chase, and all the way down to the other end of the table is my brother.
Loso.
And today, as always, we got another special guest for you. Today's Risk Taker is introduce yourself, my brother.
My name is Brayden Flodin. I'm with Rap Roots Media, another fellow Michigan podcast. So what's up? Yeah.
Yes, sir, man. It's actually pretty dope to finally get another somebody who podcasts first. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty dope, man. You know how we like to start it off, man. Tell us about yourself.
So I am a Ferris State student.
Ferris State.
I transferred there from Grand Rapids Community College. Before that, I made music independently by myself. So music gets kind of expensive for a college student. So I decided, you know what? I got to find another way, another avenue to try to make some money in the music industry. So I came up with this idea. I plotted on it for a long time, and then I just was like, let's go. Went go mode and been doing it ever since. So
dope, man.
Just been finding other, avenues to make away.
So how long have you been doing Rap Roots Media?
That is a good question. I think since February of 24. I think 2024.
Okay,
yeah.
So you're a year in the game.
Yeah, just about a year. Yeah.
Where did the name come from?
I liked the alliteration of the double R. I was thinking of like Lyrical Lemonade was what I kind of took inspiration from, and I was like, I liked the double R. Like I knew I liked that, but I just didn't know I knew rap was the first word, but I was like, all right, now what do I want to do with it? Originally, it was just gonna be Rap Roots, but that LLC was taken, so I was like, all right, Rap Roots Media. We'll throw another word on there. There we go.
So with the name Rap Roots, I don't know. Are you a history buff when it comes to music?
It's not necessarily a history buff type of a thing. I think it's more so a lot of the like the No Jumpers and like the mainstream, I guess, hip hop publications you see are more centered in like the drama of hip hop or the violence of hip hop or the drug addiction of hip hop. My platform, I wanted to be strictly music first, before all else, before all the other catty shit and the going back and forth.
Thank you.
It's music before anything else.
Thank you.
Sure.
I appreciate you.
For sure. Real journalism shit for sure.
The drama of hip hop, I feel like gives it a bad name, and I don't know. Like it all plays a role and has its part, but at the same time, if you want people to take you seriously and you want to win Grammys and be like a Kendrick of the space and win Pulitzer Prizes, you can't just be talking about the drama and the violence. People ain't gonna take it serious. They're just gonna be like, "Oh, look at this degenerate."
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that fall with anything too, man. Anything across the board, but obviously it is a lot more prevalent in the hip hop space for sure. The violence and the drugs and.
I mean, it's everywhere, and it all plays its role.
Sure.
Like sometimes you do want to hear turn up murder music from YoungBoy. Like sometimes that's what you want to hear. Sometimes it's got to be more introspective. The thing is, I don't feel like any artist should feel like they're bottled to one sound. I feel like a lot of artists get caught up in like trying to sound how the audience wants them to sound instead of how they want to make their music.
For sure. Yeah, I like that. I like that broadness in music. I feel like, man, so many different avenues and different ways you can make music. Yeah. Who's some of your favorites though?
In like here or like just in general?
Nah, in general.
I really like Chance the Rapper's latest album. I was listening to that on the way over.
Amazing.
He been telling me about it.
Yeah, it was
spinning it crazy.
That's really good. In terms, I like Mac Miller a lot, but that's like he's passed. But I listen to a lot of his stuff. I like a lot of vinyl, so anytime I get the chance to go shop for vinyl records, I'll do that. Some older people, y'all probably don't even know who this is. The Four Freshmen, they're a acapella group from like the 40s. I like them. Like I like them a lot. Just older stuff. A lot of live older stuff I like. I'm trying to think of more hip hop.
It can be anybody. Anybody that you just like, music that you gravitate towards.
In terms of locally, I like Ski a lot. I know you were on the recent project.
Shout out
Sunny Ski.
Shout out Sunny Ski for sure.
I think he's probably gonna be the next. I mean, just my personal opinion. Anybody who asks me who's the next to blow, I'm like, that's him. Sure. I really truly believe it.
Him conceptually disagreement over here.
He conceptually, I think, is really doing things differently than anybody else locally. Like, obviously, other people bring a concept to like a song, but in terms of like making a full piece of body of work, I think Sonny does it better than a lot of the other folks that I hear.
For sure. All the way around the board, though, with brand management and promo, the way he do his shows. I think, people like Sonny, it's only a matter of time until just the right person sees him. There's nothing I could recommend him do to further his career.
I think honestly, just who I like, I pay attention to the promo. I pay attention to how your public perception. Like I feel like nobody has a bad word to say about Sonny because Sonny has shown me nothing but love. I had no followers, and Sonny came to the fucking library to come record with me. Brought all his boys with him, and was like treated it like it was serious. And even when I was like starting out and didn't treat it like it was serious, it was just like, oh, here we are.
For sure.
But like I don't know, he's always any artist that shows love and that is appreciative to the nature of what this is and doesn't treat it just like a platform for you to go do something else or go just make money off it and take and not. I did an interview with a poet. His name is Sean William. He won the Grammy for Spoken Word Poetry Album of the Year last year. And I was like, as a white person in this space, like it's kind of an awkward duality thing. And he was like, it's more about what you're giving than what you're taking. So the more you try to take, the more people are going to view you as a certain type of way. So anybody who I view as just taking from hip-hop and giving nothing in return, I'll always not be a fan of that. But if I see you're giving a ton back and giving all of yourself to the art and to the music, that's something I always look to and appreciate.
That's valid. I fuck with that.
Sorry for my deep
ramble.
No, I do this all the time on my show. I ramble my ass off.
So take us to the beginning of it all. Like, how did you arrive to this point? Like you said, I know you said you did music and all that. Like, where did all that start for you, even as a kid? Like, that led to who you are today?
Shit. That's a deep question. I started making music when I was like 17. My junior year of high school was COVID, so I was just sitting at home. Didn't really have any sports to play. Didn't have anything to keep me from, going insane in the house. So I got on Band Lab. A couple of my boys were like, let's do this. Let's make music. And, all your boys are in high school. You're like, we're going to be the next super group. But, we just started doing that. I did that. I think I did music from 17 until just about 19. After I left Grand Rapids and went to Ferris, I was like, damn, I was the one paying all the studio bills. So, shit gets expensive. So I was like, I still want to express myself creatively, but this might not be the best way for me to go about it necessarily. So my cousin, he owns like a clothing brand, and I guess it's a multifaceted brand. He does videography, he does all sorts of stuff.
Shout the name.
But his name is Worthy Ones Art Collective. Shout out to Vari. He was one of my first interviews. I was like, I had this idea for this brand. It's Rap Roots Media. It's like hip-hop culture meets local hip-hop culture meets mainstream media news, and we kind of amalgamate those together into something interesting. And I was like, I feel like your clothing and videography and all this kind of tie into that like hip-hop culture, and I need somebody to interview first that I like have access to. So I did the first interview with him. He has a lot of following of artists that have either worked with him in terms of the videography or bought a shirt, bought a hat, whatever. A lot of artists reached out. From like Nashville and outside of the state, and then more people in the state were like, "Oh shit, what's going on here?" And then a lot of people reached out locally. So I've just been it's been me and other artists reaching out to me to do interviews, and
That's the best feeling.
yeah, it's when people see what you're doing and see the vision behind it, and it's not just, oh, let me use you to get promo. It's actually like,
I really
yo, man, how are you doing? How do you like a lot of the artists that I work with, they check in like, yo, what's up, which is always nice.
Yeah, that's dope. That's mad dope. Taking it back to earlier days, you mentioned Mac Miller. Would you say Mac Miller kind of, I don't know, opened you up into the space that, because I hear a lot of times often with different white people, not trying to be racist.
Yeah, I got you. I understand.
They say Mac Miller was kind of like their door to hip hop.
I will say so. I also listened to a lot of Frank Ocean, and hearing the people that he's collaborated with, I feel like opened that door. Also, my stepdad is black, so I grew up with a lot of black family members. So that kind of changed. I mean, my family was listening to like classic rock. So like to never hear this sound and then to all of a sudden be surrounded by it at all points, you're like, damn, I kind of got to listen to figure out what this is. And hip hop, has so many little parts and pieces and parts that you have no choice but to like dive into it. I guess that's where I'm the history buff of it, is like I love delving into what's the intricacies of this record. Like, I guess that's where I kind of found a real love for hip hop, because you get to delve into all the niche avenues of what it is and what the artist is trying to say. Yeah, all the subgenres as well. Like, I feel like that's where I really found love. And I think, Mac Miller as well. A lot of his older stuff, like the Kids mixtape,
Kids mixtape fire.
That was like 2009. And then shortly after that, he had an album called Best Day Ever in like 2012.
Amazing album too.
That album was like when I really, like 2012, I really started to get into like YouTube, watching YouTube videos. And obviously his music was like really that meeting period of YouTube and music kind of coming together. So I feel like that was, definitely a big piece of me finding different artists and different artists now. And then also Mac Miller samples a ton of people from 90s, 80s, 1940s, all that. So it's an avenue to just learn about music as a whole too.
For sure.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. I was going to just say a little bit about Mac Miller. Love Mac Miller though. Mac Miller was kind of like the person to me. You always hear like, Nas, Biggie, all the old heads like my dog down here. They always talk about the great '90s, but I feel like it's so much. It's such a different sound out there at different branches of hip hop, and Mac Miller, as well as Wiz Khalifa, really showed me that okay, you can experiment with. It don't always have to be lyrical miracle all the time, or it don't have to have this profound meaning or profound person behind it. It can just sound cool. You know what I'm saying? I think Mac Miller and a lot of
here's the thing with Wiz and Mac too, they can do that more deep, profound music as well, but they don't always have to.
For sure.
And they took the sound of like Mac Miller was a huge Big L fan, and that's like prime 90s going crazy, spitting your shit, talking your shit, whatever. And you can, like, Mac Miller can do that too. Like learning from these different artists and saying like, oh, he's talking about this subject matter, but he's saying it in a profound way. But also he has this song where he's just being a goofy weirdo. I can do all of that too.
For sure.
I feel like the more artists don't take themselves so serious and try to like a lot of artists box themselves in because of this is what the audience wants to hear, and I can't, they don't feel like I can't do anything different because that's what they want, so that's what I need to provide.
For sure.
The person I listen to a lot is Rick Rubin. He's more so centered on what do you want to make instead of what the audience want to hear. And I feel like that's a big thing. Artists will make maybe not better music, but music that they feel more passionate about and comfortable with, rather than just making, okay, I need to put out an album to this demographic. How do I do that?
Bingo.
And I feel like that's what the labels get caught up in. That's what the artists get caught up in. And that's when we reach this stagnant periods where people aren't listening to music because they aren't listening to hip hop specifically because they're like, it all sounds, to me, it all sounds the same. And I could see where a white person who isn't familiar with hip hop culture would just be like, well, it all sounds the same to me.
For sure.
I could understand that. But the more you do
for sure,
opening up, it just betters the music, and people are like, well, that's different. I can relate to that.
Absolutely. My fault. I just want to say the experimentation part is what they bring, is what I was saying too.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just didn't see it a lot, especially in the early 2010s too.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I was just going to piggyback on your Rick Rubin point. Have you read his book, The Creative?
I have it. I haven't finished it yet, but I have it.
But in the book, he literally says, I never created anything to be worried about what the audience was going to think. I always created from what was inside of me, and I love that about him. And then, I definitely feel like what you said with Mac Miller about not being too serious. I really feel like that is the gift of Kanye coming into the hip hop scene.
For sure.
I could say that.
He really opened up a lot of doors where it's like you don't have to be this thugged out gangster talk about killing, shooting people. You can still make incredible music. And so it's like Kanye just birthed so many people. And I don't even think we realize it still to this day how many people are like, that's because of Kanye.
For sure.
I think just a part of more so his recent antics, people don't want to say
I'm talking
it.
about the
Kanye
coming into
like
the
early
game.
2000s. I know
first
exactly
came
what you
in,
mean, like that college dropout era of Kanye. Yeah, I get that. That Kanye is an absolute genius.
Yeah,
and I feel like a lot of people, because of Kanye's antics now, don't want to say like,
he's still a
this is the
genius.
influence, but he's still a genius. He's just going down,
got some things going on.
going down the wrong path a little bit. But
to cut back into what you were saying about that, you growing up listening to rock, and then you had a black stepfather. And then that music, what was that like? What did that do for your world to come from this sound, but then you're starting to hear this sound over here? Like, what did that do for you, especially at, how old were you about that time?
I've known my stepfather since, he's known me since I was a baby.
Okay.
We would like go to his family's house since I was like 4-ish.
Okay.
So like very young.
Okay, it's very.
I was introduced to this sound of music, and I just knew like, oh, my white family listens to rock music or country music or whatever, and this family listens to this music. Like it wasn't really like a, oh my God, this is crazy. It was just like more so like, oh, it's different. Like that's just how that's just how I saw it. But there's also connecting elements. I think there's connecting elements of all pieces of music. I mean, hip hop takes from everything, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like sonically, I mean like music wise, they take from everything. Like every jazz, rock, like whatever you can. There's subgenres of every genre of music within hip hop.
Exactly. Right. So with Rap Roots Media, how many episodes are you in to date?
Ooh, you asking me numbers now. This is not my strong suit. I think in terms of podcast episodes, I think we have 25 or 26.
Okay.
Nice.
How often are you dropping?
For a while it was every week, and then school gets busy, so there was a little dip in there because I'm having a child and shit got busy, life got busy.
You said pause up right there.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I'm having a baby.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm having a daughter.
Dope.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, brother.
Girl dad's in the building.
But yeah, girl dad's in the building for sure. But yeah, college got busy, so it's just like when I can, like when I get an artist to come do an interview, it's like, all right, let's put this out as quick as we can. I try to be efficient, with my time. So I try to keep it every 2 weeks or so. But if family life gets busy with other people too. So if an artist can't come through, it's just like, all right, we push it back. We figure it out. Right. It's just all about scheduling. So just try to schedule thing and make it as consistent as I can. And if it's not an interview, I try to do other music drops in that period. So review albums or react to something or do a live stream, something like that. Just find other ways to make content.
You live streaming on Twitch or anything? Or?
I do it on my YouTube page. Okay. It's not as public as I should make it. I should promote it way more. But if I'm having a long bit where I'm not having artists come on, I'm like, all right, well let's talk about this album. Let's talk about this happened in hip hop today. I just you just got to maximize your minutes.
100%.
For sure. We did talk a little bit before the cameras came on. Where did the journalism aspect come from?
During my time at Grand Rapids Community College, we had a writing help class that I took, and we got the chance to do a song analysis, and then we had to use our paper to make like our own podcast of sorts, of like just talking about the paper. And I feel like that was where I really discovered like, oh, I can write about music, and also I have the gift to talk about music, because this was in the period where I was like, shit, I can't really make music and I don't know what to do. And then I was like, all right, I have this opportunity to write this paper. I'm going to get all my creative juices out on this paper. I got the best grade in the class in terms of the paper, in terms of the podcast. And my mom had always loved listening to NPR, so I was like, okay, this is my moment to be an NPR reporter. so I showed her the paper, I showed her the podcast, and she was like, that's so amazing, that's fantastic, you did such a great job. So I was like, wow, this is really an element of myself that I can tap into creatively and write about the music without having to dig so deep emotionally. Like, as a music artist, you have to dig so deep internally to produce the music. When you're writing about something, you can talk about how that person feels, but it's not necessarily digging so deep internally that you're like, God, this is finally out. Like,
sure.
so it's a bit of more of a like not easier but different creative outlet that I found in writing that paper. That I was like, okay, I like this. How can I make this more full long term? And then from that point at Grand Rapids Community College, it was like, okay, how do I do that? How do I do that? How do I do that? And then just thinking on it. And with my cousin who I had on the show first, I was just constantly sending him message. Okay, I have this idea. How do you think this works in practice? Because I had all these ideas, but I was like, okay, I want something that will work, that is sustainable. Because if I don't have the time to do music, what makes me think I won't have the time to do this other thing? Mm-hmm. So I was like, I need something that is sustainable to work on. And I found this, and I just meet it to my schedule instead of, forcing myself to a deadline, which was a problem with my music a lot of the time, is I was trying to force myself to find my voice. And also I would set like really hard deadlines. This has to be done by this time or the audience isn't going to want to hear it, so the less I'm so strict on myself with how things play, I feel like the better it does. And the more people enjoy it, the more I enjoy making it. It's less stress-filled and more just fun. And that's what people use their creativity to do, is just have fun. So
absolutely,
that's what I try to do.
Who were are there any voices that podcasts that you aspire to, that you take from, I guess I'll say, that they aspire you to do this?
I listen to a lot of podcasts, man. I don't know if we consider him a journalist. His name is Pete Rosenberg. He does a lot of the complex shit. I like Pete Rosenberg. Yeah, Hot 97. He does that with Ebro and all them. I like that a lot. That's more so a radio show, but I like them a lot. He's a piece of shit human being, but Logan Paul's podcast, they have a lot of cool people on there. So I'll even like listen to podcasts just in the background while I'm editing shit. So I'm like, okay, what can I do to make this better? Because those high budget 15 camera angles, those are super developed. So you're okay, what ideas can I pull to make this better? So I feel like I take from a lot of stuff. Pete Rosenberg is a huge one. Who else can I think of here? Jeremy Hecht. He's on Hip Hop DX.
Oh yeah.
He was on Joe Budden's podcast. Yeah, he's very popular.
He's on that show with DJ Head and with Elliot Wilson.
That's him. I like him a lot. I realize I'm just naming like white people in hip hop. That's
cool, man. That's
Joe Budden's obviously a huge influence in the hip hop podcast game.
I was actually just watching. I was watching the Joe Budden podcast. I watch pretty much every episode, but I was curious one day. I was like, man, it's so many camera angles, and they got Park sit behind. They got Mark right now. He sit behind, and I was like, I wonder if he have any behind the scene videos, bruh. It's like an 8-camera setup.
Holy crap!
Then they got all the wires routed into one of the spare bedrooms in the condo that they shoot in, and that's where they got can't remember his name, but they got a whole room back there with cameras, with TVs,
like their control centers.
Control center, producer.
Exactly.
That's where the producer sits.
So I was like, this is crazy.
That's what the Street Soldiers do too. They got a Head DiBiase.
We've been there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Street Soldiers.
Head DiBiase. He is like their producer. He's running the sound. He's picking what videos they're gonna put in between the interview questions. Like he does a ton for them. He's a super great cat, and he was also a person. My grandmother passed away this past year, and he like gave me apparently she used to be his principal, like back in the day. My grandmother was a principal. Crazy. So he was like, rest in peace to my grandmother, said some very nice words to me, and I just appreciated that. I never had the chance to tell him, so there you go. I appreciated that very much.
We're going to clip this, and
there we go.
We're going to put this one of the ones on the page for sure.
Yeah, that was just super. He is a legend, and when people check in like that, and when you're not feeling creative at all, and you just, you're at rock bottom completely, your family's destroyed, I don't know if you call it patriarch, but patriarch of your family is gone, and you feel nothing creatively, you're not happy, you're not having fun, to have someone that's in your creative space be like, outside of just like the workflow, how are you? Are you okay? Like that's just huge for me, and like the personal element of it is so amazing and so special, and I appreciate all the people who check in on me and all the people in the music space who care about me. I appreciate y'all. Had to get that out.
Shout out to the community.
Of course. Shout out to the yappers.
So, where do you want to take Rap Roots Media? Like,
Oh, before you get there, actually, to piggyback off the conversation we just had, kind of give some insight on how Rap Roots Media came about. What you're working with local spins and stuff like that. Kind of tell that backstory.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in terms of that, in terms of the journalism aspect, with that, Rap Roots Media had already built it up a bit, well, less than a year, but my school has a program called the MEBA program, Music Entertainment Business Association program. It's a degree, it's a club, whatever. John Sinkovitz, who runs local spins, is he's a part of the committee for that program, making the decisions on what the curriculum is, how that works. Paul Quant, who is the director, not the director, but he's the professor for all those classes. I reached out to him when I first got to Ferris, said, I have this idea that I want to do. He was like, all right, go do it. If you want to build a resume, you have to go make things that local spins will be able to see in the public eye. So I was like, okay. Obviously texted my cousin all these ideas, start doing it, reached back out to him. You're supposed to do an internship around your junior, senior year. So this past summer, I interned with local spins because Paul Quant put me in connection. I sent over my resume and everything. They hired me for the internship. It was unpaid, but it's experience, obviously.
Any lead is a good lead. That's
and the first thing I told John when I met him was like, I want this to be a symbiotic thing. I want to be able to come on more full time and be able to, have it be a symbiotic relationship for both local publications. I mean, I consider myself like somewhat of a publication. I have a website. I write stories on there. So it's a bit of a publication. So I feel like it's just an opportunity to build my brand. They don't really talk to a lot of hip-hop people, so it's an opportunity for them to tap into a whole new section of music. And that's how that's gone about. John said he was very interested, depending on how the internship went. I worked my ass off, went all over the state to cover things, and we had our last meeting of the year, and I said, I same thing I said in the first meeting, I want to do this, so let's figure it out. And then, with what I was telling you about earlier, I haven't really announced those yet, but we have a symbiotic thing we're sort of working on for artists, so that's going to be really cool. You don't have to share it if you don't want to. I have it dropping in like short form stuff in the coming weeks. So,
this probably won't be out probably about another month.
Oh, another month? Okay, then I'll drop it here then. We're starting like content packages with which local spins will be a part of for different artists to, get different pieces of content. What I view it as, the promotion of it is, promotion for an artist is a massive service in terms of promoting a single album, music video, whatever the case may be. Artists tend to view themselves as the prize in the situation and don't feel like the promotion is necessarily necessary. But the more you promote, you see it with people like Sonny, the more you promote, the better the music does. So people like these guys, risk takers, people like me, we offer an immense service to not only the local community, but beyond that, because we're not just sharing to the local community, we're sharing to the world. Mm-hmm. So say one of our clips from our interview blows up and your album does amazing. It helps us in a way, but it also helps you build this immense career, years and years and years of riches. So with that being said, I feel like we offer an immense service. So to have those content packages there's going to be several. So artists, you're at different levels. Some people are just starting out. Some people have some local buzz but are looking to get bigger. So we're going to have several different content packages to promote to artists, and hopefully the artists enjoy it and feel that it's worth it. We're going to try to put out the best content possible, as we always do. But so that's the plan, and local spins is going to play a role in that. People will see that in, I don't know, probably a week or two is the goal. So
with that, what does that mean when you say content services? Does it mean you guys are going to be doing different like interviews and pictures and videos and all encompassing? Or
I guess not necessarily different. More so, we're going to be doing the interviews more so in terms of time frame. Time is money, obviously. So I'm going to work to get out things faster. You're paying for better quality short form content, because the issue I've had with a lot of artists is artists are kind of scared to promote. At least some of the younger ones that are like just starting out, they're kind of scared to promote because they don't want to, I don't know, piss people off or feel like they're money hungry or whatever. So I feel like it's a better way to see the people who are genuinely interested in promoting, and because that's the people I want to reach, is the artists who are looking to build their career and not just do it as, it's fun to do it as a hobby, but I'm looking to reach artists who want to build music as their career. Yeah. So in terms of the content packages, our first one is just like the interview, because you're just starting out. You're looking to promote maybe your first song or whatever the case may be. The second one is interview and live stream appearance. And then we obviously create short form clips of that. That's what's winning right now is the short form content. And he also brought me an idea, which I'm probably going to add to it, album reviews. If an artist is just releasing an album, which I feel like they would typically be in that scenario, an album review over your album, probably on live, same situation.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the third one is the interview, the live stream, a profile story on my website, raprootsmedia.com, and then a 2-week ad campaign on local spins for whatever you're promoting with me. So that's the symbiotic portion of it. So yeah, it's not necessarily different, just more so it gives me the money to be able to say, okay, I can put money back into it and say, I can buy more equipment, I can pay for ads, so your content can do even better. Mm-hmm. So it's my content, but it's yours too. So it's a symbiotic thing regardless. Leveraging. So yeah, just leveraging, using that money to, a lot of I talked to Ruben Martinez and Lady Ace Boogie about this. They were like, every social or every interview platform that you go on that is of any substance, you pay. Like that's how it works. And like he's like, I've paid for my artists to get on platforms. Everyone does it. So if an artist wants to reach that status of I'm making music my career, then you have to be prepared to do that. Whether that's at the local level, national level, international level, whatever the case may be. So if I'm chasing these artists who want to do that, then they also have to understand what comes with that. It isn't the biggest thing for me.
Absolutely. 100%.
And I got a kid on the way, so, college fund's got to start at some point.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Oh, damn. You're younger than I thought. Dope. That's dope as hell, man. You ain't no shit. So.
People usually think I'm 30.
I ain't that. I thought you was more like, maybe 25, 26, 27.
That's what people guess. I'm 22.
Okay. Damn. Nice, man. That's dope.
Working hard.
So to go back to where are you trying to take your platform? Nationally, globally?
The hope is nationally. The reason I started it so young, I started at 21 years old, is like I do this for 10 years. I'm 31 and it takes off. I'm fine with that. Like if I can get a deal at 31 years old, that's a huge blessing. So like to get some type of a podcast deal or, build a immense audience that enjoys the content, that's the goal. Anything beyond that in terms of monetary gain is just cake. Like I just enjoy making the content. So the goal is to make it a full-time job. The goal is to make it my career. That's the goal ultimately. Mm-hmm. In terms of where it goes to get there, it doesn't really matter to me as long as it's something that I view as ethical and, I'm not going to be taking crazy money from terrible causes. My goal is to make this my full-time career. So whether that's from a podcast deal or whether that's from just gaining an immense YouTube audience and making money off of monetization on social media, however that comes about is however that comes about. I'm just letting the universe work that out, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, damn. That was dope.
So do you see yourself, do you think you'll always be in the kind of artist interview, album review stage, or is there any kind of other things you've thought about that, like, man, once I get to a point I want to expand into doing this?
It's funny you say that. I guess another one of my goals for down the line, I don't know when or how this happens, but I want to create a Michigan album from all. I feel like Grand Rapids specifically has a very diverse sound, and people categorize us like Detroit and Flint. Mm-hmm. So no hate to those genres or people who make that music. Love the music. But I feel like Grand Rapids has a very diverse sound compared to that, comparatively. Oh, I see. So I feel like taking a lot of the Grand Rapids people I know, taking a lot of people from Kalamazoo, other areas of the state, and making an album to highlight the other sounds. Yeah, just highlight the other sounds and what we have to offer to the world instead of just, they're Detroit and Flint. That's what they sound like. That's what they all sound like. Yeah. That's not what we offer, a diverse sound. So I feel like bringing that to the forefront is the key to making us a hip-hop city, a hip-hop hub of artistry. I feel like things like Art Prize, like Scoob winning an Art Prize, are all steps in the right direction. Shout out Scoob. He's supposed to be coming to my show soon. I hope this holds them to it. we've been scheduled.
We're gonna highlight him for
Right,
it.
I'll call him right now.
We going
Get there now, bro.
we got it scheduled. He's just he's a busy man, family man, which I appreciate 100%. But God, what was I saying?
You were saying about the album, and you should give Scoop a shout.
Oh yeah. The artistry in terms of how we make ourselves a hub city, like in Atlanta, like in New York, like Houston, any of the Memphis, anywhere, Atlanta, all these places. It's all these things like Art Prize are steps in the right direction to get there, and I feel like an album just is another step in that journey. And then also just like more fleshed out pieces of content, like documentaries and like different avenues in that front, music or. I had an idea for a documentary about drugs and hip hop and how that correlates. Mac Miller's being one of my favorite artists is an infamous overdose in the hip hop industry. So looking into that and how that affects how people look at hip hop and how people look at addiction and how people look at addicts as a whole, I feel like that would be something interesting in terms of future projects that I'd be able to hope to do. Once money's coming in a little bit, maybe once I've made it that full-time career, I can take that money and say, hey, let's put this money down and do this the right way.
So documentaries is another one.
Documentaries, executively producing pieces of music. I feel like that's always been something that I have a very good ear for music. I mean, that's part of the reason why I do this. So being able to say, this is how I want a track to sound, this is the instruments I want involved, this is who I want on it. Almost that's kind of like how a DJ Khaled works. Like a Khaled is, okay, I know what instruments I want, I know what artists I want, I know how I want this to sound. Okay, let's go put it together. It's kind of how I want to be. Not necessarily exactly like Khaled, but more so a middleman in the industry where you can, okay, I know a lot of these artists, I can put them on a track together. Let's make that happen.
Do you know have you ever heard the name Clarence Avant?
Sounds familiar.
When you get a chance, go, if it's still on Netflix, it's called The Black Godfather. It's about Clarence Avant. He was just a dude that connected everything in the industry.
Gotcha.
Check that out.
I'll check that out tonight. I'll check that out tonight.
Fire. As a fellow journalist myself, it's a question that rolls in my mind all the time. I put a lot of thought into it. So curious from you, who are some of the people, or let's just give it one person for both sides. One person that you would love to interview on a podcast, and then one person you would just love to follow them throughout their day and kind of write a story on them.
That's a great question.
In terms of interview, I would love to get Rick Rubin on my show. I mean,
Fire.
that's a dream interview for sure. Cole Bennett, considering the name, has such strong ties to Lyrical Lemonade. That would be a huge one for me. Cole Bennett would be an awesome interview. He seems like, he's been doing this since he was my age. He's probably in his 30s, I would assume by now, and he's been going crazy. Took the same route that I did of, I have this idea, I enjoy hip-hop culture so much, how can I make that my career? And did it. So that'd be a person I would love to interview. In terms of hang out with them for a day, that's interesting. Locally, I'd say Sonny, just because his job schedule sounds crazy, and I feel like that would be cool to write about and be a part of.
Be in the truck with him.
Yeah, be in the truck with him. Just we could do a freestyle in the truck. That'd be a fire idea right there.
That'd be crazy.
CDL truck freestyle. In terms of like mainstream, I'd say Snoop Dogg, and not just because he smokes weed, but because like he's tied to so many different shows and brands and all sorts of things. To just see him live out his day to day would be cool. And he's been in the industry for since the 90s, since Pac, and has still been able to nobody has a bad word to say about Snoop Dogg. He's he's the OG of all of it. So.
For sure.
Yeah, that'd be a cool little
day. The reason why I asked you about the following somebody throughout their day and kind of record them like tell me more about this. I think it became a lost art, man. I feel like everything is camera, sit down, but hearing you speak, I'm like, man, this is true journalism, is true journalist as well. Goddamn, tripping on my words. Golly. So a lot of times we see it with the GQs and the complex. They give us a quotable, and it's just they mixing everything up. It's not a true quote. So I do appreciate you having so much history and life in the journalism.
Yeah, it's cool. A person, I guess, another person who I really take inspiration from is a Barbara Walters. I mean, I know that is simply sit down, but that's that's an uncut way of doing it. I mean, when Barbara Walters would sit down with someone, it would be an hour uncut, the biggest person, the biggest celebrity in the nation right now, and tell us what you have going on. And it's not a cut. Let's run a mid-roll ad in the middle of this. Like it's not the podcast way of going about it. It's a uncut, uncommercial break way of doing it and way of getting into someone's psyche. And I feel like doing that and understanding, I think understanding empathy is a huge thing when being a journalist, is in understanding what a person might be saying, how it ties to their emotion, and being able to illustrate that in a way that's true and not in a way that's biased based on your own emotions. Your own emotions go out the door as a journalist because you're looking to tell a story about this topic or person or situation. So your own emotions about a person, or I could be interviewing or doing a piece about a person who I view as the biggest piece of shit in the world. If that's what I'm needed for, then my emotions about the person go completely out the window.
Absolutely.
In order to make the best possible story.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Kind of answering the question I'm getting ready to ask you.
Oh, yeah.
But what makes a great interview?
What makes a great interview? An artist being willing to talk. An artist being willing to... I've had a lot of people, they talk like this, and they're real quiet about how they... Like, no, bro, you're the artist. Stunt. Like, that sounds conceited, but stunt. Like, you're the... Like, not every artist necessarily needs to be this huge, larger-than-life figure, but at the same time, if you want people to listen to the music, they have to believe, one, that you're someone who they can relate to, but also, two, you're exciting. You're exciting to talk to. You're exciting to be around. So the more I'm not saying, like, make a big scene in your interview, but also... be willing to open up more deeply than, yeah, man, I got this piece of music out, and it's really cool, and you should listen to it because I really like it. But the more you focus on, like, yeah, like my music's the shit. This is why I like it. This is why this is my favorite song. This is that, and just delving into not only your inner self and what drove you to make the music, but also why should others go take time out of their day to listen to it?
Right.
So yeah, I'd just say artists being willing to be truly themselves, and like I guess yourself on 10 almost. Like,
For sure.
My version of myself every time I'm on camera, I say is myself times 12. Like you're just a little bit elevated. Like, and I feel like every artist has to understand that to a certain extent to be an artist, because you're going so so deep into who you are. You have to show that in a way that's, bravado, that's swagger, or that's sad and emotional, or that's whatever emotion you're trying to convey. So yeah, just do that. Like, just do that on camera, and people will vibe with it. People will relate to it in their own ways. People will hate it in their own ways. Like, everybody has a word to say, love or hate, whatever. So yeah, just be you on the camera. Like, I feel like a lot of people get the red light fever and get scared. Like, oh, there's a camera on, there's a microphone on. I'm scared. Like, oh, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know the questions. Right. So they get worried about that stuff. But the more you're just like, okay, I'm ready to go. Like, that's how I look into every interview. Sometimes in interviews, I won't even prep. I won't even come with questions. I'll say, I know that's dangerous, but but I will say, I'll look over there, like, a couple social medias. I'll bank some questions up here because I don't know you, and I want it to be clear I don't know you. So, and I'm sure a lot of people listening probably don't know you. So if I come super deep with, let me learn everything I can about this person, then it's going to be super niche questions to them, and not what the general audience would want to hear.
Right.
So for certain ones, I'll come unprepared. But for certain ones, if I know an artist pretty well, like a Scoob, I've talked with him several times. I see his social media content. I know subconsciously what I'm going to ask him before I even ask him. So I'm going to prep for that because I know him somewhat. Like, in terms of, like, social media, I don't know him personally, but I know him somewhat in terms of social media content, talking with him a couple times. So that would be one I ask more niche questions. But if it's someone that, hey, I want to interview and I don't know them too well, and I don't think the local community knows them too well, I'm like, hey, let's come unprepared. Let me just ask you general questions. Yeah, let's just have a general conversation.
I dig it. For sure.
Yeah. Fire. This is fun, man. I haven't done a podcast that's not mine since Street Soldiers. I went on Street Soldiers a while back, but it's fun to talk with people who do similar things to me and to see the setup and to see how it moves. as like a guest and like not as the person who's like been prepping
sure.
on like that's been
That's
prepping
how it felt when we was on
or
crack the other day.
not
Very
prepping.
relaxing. Very relaxing.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say when you was talking about the what do you call it, the red light
fever. It's like
That's
being
why I don't
scared
wear
of being on
headphones.
camera.
It's like that's another reason why I don't necessarily do headphones, because it's like it keeps me in a natural
State.
conversation. I like to always feel like I'm just having a conversation.
just
I don't
chatting.
like feeling like I know this mic is here, but I act like the camera's not even there, because that's why I keep it like that.
Artists always also ask me like, should I look at the camera or should I look at you? Fuck the camera, look at me.
Right. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah, like let's have a
You know what I'm saying?
conversation.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. That is valid. It is relaxing because we just, like Chase was just saying, we did cracks.
Live from the crack house.
Really live from the
Free
crack
game.
house. But
Free
then
game
we
of
did,
crack.
The free game too.
We
Yeah.
did an interview too, and man, did it feel good not to pack the car up and set everything up. It felt good to just sit down and get up and just.
And I'm the guest today.
Back on that couch.
For sure, because we haven't did an episode here in a while, so I had to set all this shit up. But yeah, man, it's cool, man. It's dope. What's your favorite part about I don't know, doing other people podcasts, I guess?
That's interesting. I mean, I've only done a couple, but yeah, just having the ability to just chill. You get to know people, they get to know you. To know that it gets to be shared with other people is a cool feeling. Seeing that, like seeing my Street Soldiers episode go live was pretty cool, and like seeing that people viewed it, and it wasn't just one view. That was me. Like people were excited to see it. People that were invested in the brand were excited to hear about me. It sort of gets lost on me. Like people are excited for the brand beyond just like the artists that come on, and they are actually invested into me and what I'm bringing to the table.
So
Another host that I'll say, you guys watch Hot Ones, Sean Evans?
Yeah, absolutely.
His hosting ability is out of this world. So I guess that's another influence in terms of journalism, asking questions, interviewer. Sure. That's kind of another big one.
Sean is dope.
Yeah, is that people that connect to him beyond just the people he brings on or the spicy hot wings, they connect to him as a host. So I feel like that'd be another goal of mine I mean, I guess it's kind of already happening locally, is people are invested to hear what I have to say beyond just what I have to ask this artist, which is always mind-blowing to me.
Sure. Do you do any solo content, like outside of interviewing artists, like something that's just you in front of a camera?
I'll do like, if like a big hip-hop album comes out, I'll do like a little short and give my opinions on it. Or I'll react to it on live stream.
When you react, are you doing it like naturally as the album is playing, or do you listen to it and then react?
In terms of shorts, I'll listen to it and then react and like just give my thoughts on the whole project. If it's an album that I really want to listen to, that I'm like really eager to hear, like not every artist that drops, I'm super eager to hear their project. Like I'm not a huge fan, but if it's somebody that I am really eager to hear, I will do like a live stream, listening to it, giving my thoughts as the album is playing. I should really do more solo content. I just have school and work. Once I have a bit more of a like set life schedule outside of like once I finish my degree, that allows me to have way more time on my hands and not time that's consumed by school. So I feel like I'll probably move more so into that as I get older and have a bit more time on my hands to do so.
How far are you away from being finished?
I'm a senior right now in my fall semester, so I got this semester and then I got baby in November, and then I got to finish my spring semester online.
Oh, your baby about to be due right?
Yeah,
November,
next month. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Congratulations!
We had posted about it the other day. I thought you just found out like the other day.
No, I had known for several months.
Got you.
Yeah, my girl just had maternity photos yesterday. She got some of the photos back today, and she was like crying. She was so happy and excited. It's cool to see.
Congratulations!
It's very
on
cool.
that journey.
Yeah, man, it's exciting. My parents were probably around. I mean, they were around the same age as me when they had me. So I told them, and they were like, "Well, here you go, here you go."
I got one more question.
Yeah.
If you could be on any podcast as a person being interviewed, what podcast would you want to go on?
Good question. I'd love to be on Crack's podcast because he's a person that I was asking to get on my show for a very long time. And who
10-episode rule?
Yeah, he did give me the 10-episode rule. He told me the 10-episode rule, too. 10-episode rule. That's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I asked him to be on my show and he finally said yes, that was a huge thing for me. And I always ask him little tidbits and questions, and he's a person that I view as a mentor in the space. So
100%.
to be able to have him invite me on his show and show him I've made progress, I am doing this better, I'm doing that better, and to have a person that I view as a role model in the space see me and be like, you're really making improvement. Good job. Like, that would be a huge blessing for me. In terms of, like, mainstream, like, big, huge podcasts, no jumper, and I just, like, clown around the whole time.
Me
I
too.
just, like, dick around the whole time because that's all that platform is now. No hate, but just, like, I feel like 2015, 2016, they were so centered around the new artists and new hip hop culture and what this SoundCloud era of music.
Authentic
and now
content.
Authentic content. And now that it's just, guess who went to jail? Guess Guess what happened here? Guess what happened there? I hate all my co-hosts. I personally can't get behind that because I have no way to relate to that other than I do a podcast too. Like, anybody who doesn't do a podcast or who isn't like living a degenerate lifestyle doesn't relate to people going to jail or hip hop beef.
Yep.
Like, the average person doesn't relate to a hip hop beef, like, unless you are like a rapper actively in hip hop beef. So
I wish I could, to piggyback on that, I wish I could have went to No Jumper around like the AD and when T-Rail, everybody was on there. Actually, when they was hiring for more co-hosts, it's funny, the other day I was going through my hard drives. I actually recorded a 5-minute video to audition to get on the show.
Aren't you glad you didn't?
Yeah, for sure. Because literally like 6 months later, that's when all the firing and everything happened. So, it was for sure.
Goodness.
For sure crazy. But,
Goodness.
I second that. No jumper one though, for sure.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
Nah, man, I'm good.
For sure, man.
Great having you on.
Absolutely,
Thank y'all, man.
Every episode.
I seen y'all been going crazy. I saw the crack episode, and I was like, damn, like, with Street Soldiers, I loved the Street Soldiers, and that was a fun episode, but I kind of felt like I was a third co-host.
Gotcha.
Which, like, they were talking, and I just kind of had to, like, jump in. No hate on that. Like, that's how they run their show, and that's cool. That's awesome. But this one, I'm, like, more so being interviewed, and I like that style of podcast a bit better because I guess that's what I do. So that's probably why I like it better. But yeah, it's cool to like sit down and tell people about myself and have them care, you know?
For sure. I did have one more thing.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of hard for me when I first started. What would you say to the people at home trying to do it with people versus doing it at home? What kind of advice would you give? Because it is the hardest thing in the world to record solo content, and you're talking to right there, that circle right there the whole time.
That one right there?
Tough.
Yeah, that one's scary.
Tough.
It is. My advice, I feel like I'm, you know, them Kai Cenat, like motivational speeches. Yeah. This is my moment. My motivation or advice for people is do it. No matter how nervous you are, no matter how many times you have to fuck up before you get it right, my motivation is do it, because the end result of you finishing that content will make you feel so productive and so rewarded and so useful creatively. And the more so you do it, like say you do it 15 times in a day and you finally get that video that you love, then you're going to have the drive to do that again and again and again and again and again. And it's going to take you 15 times every time for a while. And then after 7 months, it's going to take you 4 times. And then after another 7 months, it's going to take you 2 times. And then you're going to fuck up one day and it's going to take you 15 times again. But the viewpoint of just doing it until you're no longer scared. Like, I'm sitting here talking to the camera right now.
For sure. And
I'm still nervous, and I've been doing this for a year plus. So you're always going to have that bit of fear of like, oh, what are people going to think? Or, oh, I'm nervous to talk in front of a camera. But the more so you do it, the less nerves there are, because I'm prepped for this. I've done this before. I know what I'm doing. I had to film for the packages. I had to film a piece of content where I'm just like, yeah, this is what we're doing. This is the content. This is what we have to do. And yeah, I'm still fucking up. I'm still like, I had my girl come in there with me because like having a conversation with her just helps. Like, okay, like I'm just gonna do this now, whatever. Or like I'll just play with my dog beforehand. Like doing something that's like just relaxing before I go on camera helps me be like less so, oh, let's go, let's do it. Like,
yeah,
get less so nervy about it and just be ready to. Okay, I'm just talking. Like, here we are. So I guess just like easing the nerves is repetition, and knowing what keeps you calm is two things that I strive to do.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's hard. So I did.
It is. It
is.
is.
So I wanted to.
It's a learning curve for sure.
It is one of the toughest things I had to get over. Because I do like a solo show called The Rundown, and I've been doing a couple episodes. And as I was getting back into it, she was sitting on the couch and she was just like, I say you're doing a good job. I said, no, I'm not. I'm doing horrible. So every time I do like an insert video, I give myself to like, let me relax. Let me lock back in.
See, now that my girlfriend's seen me film so many one-on-one, like me with the camera, one-on-one things, she can tell like when I'm nervous to do an interview, because I'm the same way.
Yeah.
When an artist is coming to interview, that I'm nervous to do it. So she's like, "You're nervous, aren't you?" And I'm like, yeah. but I always like with those where I'm like nervous, I tend to I prep those, because you want to feel ready to go. So I know I said sometimes I don't prep, but sometimes to feel comfortable you do. So it's prep. It's knowing when to be confident in just your gut and knowing what you want to make. It's all those things. It's knowing when to trust yourself. It's knowing when to prep to be the best version of yourself. It's the repetition. It's all of it. Like, it's if you don't try, you'll never learn. And if
so true.
If you don't try, you'll never learn. And that's a big thing. Is the reason why so many people have the idea but never push to go do it is because they're scared of having to learn along the way. And the biggest thing I've noticed with people who are, have all these grandiose ideas about being an artist or being running a clothing brand or running a podcast or whatever the case may be is, okay, I have this idea, but no forethought of how am I going to actually do it and learning how the process actually works.
For sure.
So I think the more so you're eager to learn and following that learning to getting better at these things, the easier it gets. And then, you just continue to learn. And the more you continue to learn, the better things get as a whole, always. So I think the biggest advice I have overall, other than just the repetition and things of that nature, is always be eager to learn. Whether you're 15, 55, 95, whatever, there's no limit to how much you can learn. There's no limit to how far you can go. The only limits placed on you are by you. So always be open to new opportunities. Always be open to new learning, because your dream career, your dream path, your dream life is right in front of you. You just have to learn enough to make it happen. So that motivational speech, mafia-thon.
Snaps on that one.
I know I rambled too long.
Nah, five. Anything to close it out?
Yeah, you know how we get down, man. When we close it out, man,
Yes,
we
sir.
always ask the risk taker.
No. Before we get there,
you
every episode
go ahead.
is sponsored by Stock the Bar Vodka, and on every episode we
Y'all got a
give
sponsor?
a bottle
Stock
to
the Bar.
I get a Stock
Mr.
the Bar
Daryl Reese.
vodka?
Absolutely.
What? This is dope.
Shout out to
I
our
probably won't
sponsor,
drink this
Daryl
because
Reese.
I got a pregnant girlfriend, but once 12 weeks is up, we getting fucked up. Stock the Bar. Let's go.
We got to clip that. That's a new app. Stock the Bar.
Absolutely. Drink responsibly. You
Drink
can find
responsibly.
it everywhere in the Midwest.
Where do you like to
Every
get it at
single,
specifically, though?
Every single Myers, you can get them in the Midwest. I love to get it at the ACO, too.
What you like to get it with?
Freshly squeezed lemonade at the ACO, too.
Lemonade. I got lemonade in the fridge at the crib too. So
So you
this
might have
be
to
the
just get
move.
you a little.
Just a little something.
How many times to steal, brother?
7.
7 of them. Tap in with Stock the Bar.
Yeah, here we
Yes,
go.
sir. Yes, sir.
Y'all mind if I give like a quick just shout out the socials type shit, or is that okay?
No, we're going to do it.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
So yes.
I don't know how y'all do this.
Yes, we always ask the fellow risk taker if they know of anybody else that they see as a risk taker that they feel like would do great on this podcast.
That's a
Give us
good.
2 to
I've
3
never
people
had
if
that
you
one
can.
before. Ooh, that's interesting.
People that you see, visionaries. They don't even have to be musicians. It doesn't have to be in the music scene. It could be in any avenue.
Oh, any risk taker?
Or
Any
anywhere,
app.
too.
Yeah.
Oh,
It don't gotta
my
be
cousin. His name is Avari Simpson. He is right now he's a school teacher, but he also runs his own clothing brand. He's a videographer. He's a photographer.
What's the name of the clothing brand again?
Worthy Ones.
Worthy
Worthy
Ones.
ones.
Worthy
I did
Ones.
just hear about that. I think think Marcus Cuban did some stuff.
Yeah, he worked with him a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, he's done documentaries. He has put out clothes. He has done videos for musicians. He's involved in so many different aspects of creativity and is such a creative mind beyond just like putting out creativity, but he has the words that I don't always have to like back up trust in myself. And like he's the biggest like know your self-worth, know your value, know that you're important. He's a huge advocate for mental health. He's super great guy, and that's number one for sure. Just shouting him out. That's the biggest one.
Yeah, that's valid.
All right. Worthy ones.
Plug yourself.
Oh, yeah. I'll plug my show right now. Rap Roots Media on all social media platforms, raprootsmedia.com. If you want to check out the content packages, they'll probably be out by the time this drops. raprootsmedia.com/content packages if you want to check those out if you're an artist who's interested. Rap Roots Media on all social media platforms. We also have shirts, so if you want a shirt, go get a shirt. I think that's everything. Be eager to learn. That's my last little yap.
Yeah.
Alrighty, y'all.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank y'all so much for having me on. I appreciate y'all
coming
so
on,
much.
Boy, also, man.
Your brother, your boy Chase.
Yes, sir. We have Rap Roots Media on the pod
It's
today,
a tongue
man.
twister, man. It's a
Yeah,
tongue
for
twister.
sure. It got me a little bit. But yeah, man, it's been another great episode of the Risk Takers, and we out.
Doses.
Peace.